Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The translation, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? So I am a migrant who is currently living here in South Africa, and I have my own confession that I want to share with you. My story, it goes on like this. When I was still back home, I got married to a man who was like a dealer. He was into illegal gold mining, as well as they would go into the national parks and then they would hunt for the rhinos and poaching for their horns. So there was a Chinese man that would even come to our home even when my husband was not around to collect those rhino horns. But the problem with my husband was that no matter how much he would make, he would always waste it, because he was someone who was into a lot of women, and where there is money, women are always going to be there. I tried to sit with him down to show him that it was far much better for him to focus on his family than to focus on women, because women, they'll always be there and they would always want money. But he would only understand me if it happens that he does not have money. The moment that they would go out poaching, when they would get an elephant or a rhino horn, then once he starts to make money, he'll be drinking beer until the money was finished. Then it happened that he got arrested. He's still in prison as we are talking right now. So the time that I started prostituting myself, it was through a lawyer. I did not have money. This lawyer then told me that he wanted at least 12 cattle, so as to make sure that my husband's case will disappear. He said that he was going to negotiate with the magistrate as well as the prosecutor, and they were going to share after I would have given him the 12 cows. I told him that there was no way that I'll ever be able to afford those 12 cows, because he said, if you do not have them physically, I want the money that is equivalent to the 12 cows, in which I knew very well that there was no way I would ever be able to get those 12 cows that he wanted. So after everything was done, this man then said, it is fine, I am going to find a way to get your husband out of prison. It was a painful thing to do, knowing that I was sleeping with him in his office as if I was a prostitute. So I kept on sleeping with this man. He told me that everything was going to be okay. My husband would get out of prison. But no, it was not like that. My husband is still in prison as we are speaking right now. Since I had already started sleeping with another man, I then said it is far much better that I get another boyfriend to another boyfriend, until I started going into the streets as I was now prostituting myself, so as to make sure that my kids will have food on the table. The money that I was making, it was not a lot. Then there was this other lady. She stays in an area, a small town that is called Epworth, just outside of Harare. She said, I want you to come to my place. I went there. Whilst I was with him, she said there was a lady that she wanted me to speak with. I waited, and the lady finally arrived. So this lady then told me that she is responsible for assisting women that are in the same business that I was, of prostitution. She said, when you are a prostitute, you need to use muti, because you do not know the type of a man that is going to take you to his place. You need muti for protection. You need muti to make sure that whenever a man sleeps with you, you will feel really nice. Are you willing to do that, my daughter? I said, whatever it takes, I am willing to do it. So this lady then gave me a waist chain, and she said, I want you to keep this waist chain. Whenever you are with a customer that you see that this one here has a lot of money and you want to take the money from him, you just use it. And then when you are sleeping with him, you should have it around your waist. So Brother Nashi, that was what I did at that time. I gave him the money, and then she gave me that same waist chain and some rituals that we did as well. Little did I know that this thing, it transforms itself sometimes into a snake. Yes, it did transform itself into a snake. This was when I was with this other illegal gold miner. So this man, after sleeping with me, he started to force himself upon me. He did not want to use any protection at all. I was feeling defenseless, but this man ran away and said that he saw a snake wrapped around my waist and gave me money and said, "You are a witch," as he ran out of my cabin. From there on, that was when I came here, where I am currently working in Hillbrow. I have finished this man, and it is beyond my control now. I really do not know what am I supposed to do. It all started when this other man, who was from Soweto, he was a regular customer. He would come and buy sex from me. But then I started to notice that he was getting thinner and thinner by the day. I was even scared to sleep with him. I was like, yo, this guy, he was about to die with HIV, but he was regularly taking his medication as if there was something that was draining his blood. And indeed, this snake was draining his blood. The day that he passed away, that was when I had a dream, and I was at this man's funeral. Whilst I was there, that was when I was called to the front by his relative, a man who knows me very well. And I went there. That was when he said, "Open up the coffin and see what you have done." It was happening in the dream. When I opened the coffin, I screamed because I saw that this man, he had changed into a snake. That was the day that I started to suspect that there is something that is wrong with me. I also remembered what had happened to that illegal gold miner, the man who had wanted to force himself upon me without using a condom. And he had also said that he had seen a snake that was wrapped around my waist. The snake that I saw inside that coffin, he then came to me and wrapped itself around my waist. Everyone that was at this man's funeral ran away. You know what happened to this man? When they were burying him, they said that his coffin dropped. And according to our African culture, if something like that happens whilst you are burying someone, it means that there is something that is going on. Maybe the family, they just don't know much about our culture. But if it was in Zim, I think that the burial was not going to take place, since the coffin had dropped down on its own before they had started with the burial process. So this is my story. Currently, I am looking for one who can assist me. Unfortunately, I have not met an honest man of God. The man that I once spoke with, a prophet from Soshanguve, who is also from Zim. This man, when I went to his place, he wanted to know more about this snake. I found out that he was trying to take this snake from me. In Shona, they call it kuhukamweya, by trying to force the spirit that will be possessing you to speak. He wanted this snake all for himself. I was shown all of these things in the dream by this same snake. So the problem that I am facing is that if I sleep with a man, and this is the job that I have to do, that puts food on my table, to constantly sleep with different men, but they have bad luck that they will take from me, that is being caused by this snake. Please help me. I do not want to destroy the lives of the men that come to me because they are my beloved customers. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our sister right there. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. Let us try to speak with her in the comment section. She is looking for an honest man of God who can assist her. She's saying that all the men that she has tried to speak with who are prophets, they end up wanting to know more about this snake, how they can also get this snake to use it to perform miracles. Yo.